Hi, I'm Mariah. I run Mystic Deviation at Tumblr.com and tarot discussions at Blogspot.com. I've been doing reviews of my tarot decks, so this is just another one of my reviews. Links will be below to all of the other reviews I've done so far. Today's deck is the Native American Tarot. It's the Religion and Spirituality. There are several versions of the Native American Tarot. I believe they're all done by different artists. Ooh, I just dropped this one. This one is created by Magda Week Gonzalez and illustrated by her husband. These there's several different tribes that are represented throughout this deck. We're going to talk about some of them in a few minutes. This is the box that it came in. Like I've told you before, I don't enjoy these boxes. They don't last as long. They bend. They typically don't store the tarot cards as well as I would like them to. Like I've said before, I do enjoy the sturdier hard cardboard. So the cards are made by the U.S. Games Systems Incorporated. This box, I'll go ahead and tell you the Native American tribes it represents. It includes themes from the Apache, the Arapaho, I'm probably going to pronounce some of these wrong, the Cherokee, the Cheyenne, the Chippewa, the Comanche, the Hopi, the Huron, Inuit, Icarus, Kiowa, Navajo, Papago, Pima, Pueblo, Shawnee, and Sioux. The reason I purchased this deck was because when I first saw it, I saw an old listing for the original version on Etsy. I fell in love with the themes, the pictures, just the overall message of these cards opposed to the traditional tarot. These definitely spoke to me more. I dated someone from the Sioux tribe that was a full Native American for a very long time, and so a lot of these themes are things that we've talked about and that I enjoyed. I kind of can read these a little bit more intuitively than some of my other tarot decks. Besides the cards, it came with this pamphlet and two cards that kind of, I believe all of my tarot decks kind of come with these throwaway cards that just kind of have the deck name, pretty much the same artwork that's on the box. But I'm just going to use this to kind of show you what the back looks like. The back was one of my favorite things about this deck. It's definitely, to me, more Aztec. Somewhere in the book, it actually tells you where the inspiration for the backs came from. I'm not entirely sure. Included with that, though, it is not a throwaway card. It is the Sia Medicine Song. I'll try to write this up and link it below. I really, really loved that it came with this. I think that you're supposed to kind of just use it as whatever. It's supposed to bring health and prosperity to you and your family. I really liked that was added into this deck, especially since this deck is very family oriented, both the bad and the negative. There are some cards that are more just Native American overall theme, but I think the underlying theme for most of the deck is the abundance of family and what comes with that. Some of the things that I'm going to talk about are this book. Besides not being able to look at this book very well because my eyesight's horrible, this is a fantastic book. Normally I don't enjoy these pamphlets, but as you can tell, it's actually pretty thick. It includes all the information about the deck that you need, what tribes were influenced, what tribes influence the deck, which cards are specific to certain cultures, and so on. This definitely gives you thick meanings to each card. Each card kind of has this description of what it's supposed to represent, and then the upright and reversed meanings, which I really, really, really loved. I thought that was really a great addition to this deck. It actually does have, and it has some spreads in it that I will try to write, but as you can tell, some of them are kind of thick. I will try to have these up down below as well, with links to those spreads. I'm just going to kind of show you what each spread looks like. So these spreads in these books that they suggest are kind of more in detail and thicker. I think that you're kind of supposed to use these in more specific situations than some of the general tarot decks for reading. It kind of talks about it does talk about the back. The back design was from the Navajo sand painting. So that was definitely something I thought was interesting. It kind of just told you about the cards in depth, where the artwork comes from, what was the reason for those images, and what tribes are involved. I really, really like that. I think that it's one of the better things about this deck in particular. When decks are going to go away from the traditional symbolism of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, I definitely enjoy having descriptions that I can easily look up, because most of this stuff's not going to be found online. So some of the things that are different about this deck that I'm going to talk about is the different labeling of the major arcana. Most of what I believe is the regular numbering, so you're going to kind of find the Fool to be 0 and so forth, but they are kind of named differently. The Fool is not, however, it is luckily the same. This is the Fool. The Magician, however, is the Hosteen Coyote. I probably said that name wrong. So that is different. Actually, most of the other ones are. The High Priestess is the Corn Maiden. I'm sorry. The Medicine Woman is the Empress. The Council Chief is the Emperor. The Hierophant is, of course, the Shaman. I really liked this card in particular. I think it is very representative of the Native American community. I'm really sorry if I offend anyone by any of this, by the way. I really like this deck, and I thought it was really creative, and kind of represents a wide variety of culture. The next one is going to be the Lovers. It is traditionally the Lovers. It didn't change very much. The Chariot, however, is the sled, which is obviously the Inuit culture. The Strength card is just the so the Justice is the Justice card is differently numbered than the Strength card. So the Strength card is 8 instead of the Justice card. The Hermit is the same. The Medicine Wheel represents the Wheel of Fortune. The Justice card then comes down to where the traditional Strength card would be. The Sundance is the Hanged Man. Death is traditionally named and pictured. The Weaver is Temperance. The Devil, again, is traditionally the Devil. The Tower is the traditional Tower card. The Star card is the Stars instead. This is one of my favorite cards from the deck. I really love this spider, and that the inside of its web is the stars. The Moon card and the Sun card are both traditionally them. Judgment and the World are as well. So some of the numberings and labelings on the major arcana are different, but primarily the meanings kind of stay similar-ish to the major arcana. It's when you get into the minor arcana, it starts differing quite a bit from the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. Some of the other different labelings are the fact that they don't call them the wands, the swords, the pentacles, and the wands, the swords, the pentacles, the cups. They are the shields, which are representative of what pentacles would be. The vessels are the cups. The blades are the swords, and the pipes are the wand. Also for the labeling, they don't use traditional queen, king, knight, page. I did want to reflect on that though. They do put the queen first. So instead of the king being the first card that they talk about, they actually make it the queen in the court cards. This is just the matriarch, which is the queen card of shields for that one. This is the chief. This is going to be pretty much your king. Ooh. The next one is the warrior, which represents the knight. And finally is the maiden, which is the page. And these are just kind of cards. The cards, what they look like. So each one has a overall kind of theme to the card, depending on what card you see. This one is spiritualist. And the meanings will kind of go towards this. This is vision quest. This one is stickball, and this is the silence. Some of them are the trail of tears. There's a few that are totem poles. That definitely kind of talks. It definitely talks about the culture behind each card. Some of the other cards that aren't court cards, that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see this kind of theme at the very bottom that describes it. Overall, this deck is really impressive to me. It is definitely something different from the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith theme. One of the reasons I enjoy this deck so much is that the readings are really, really accurate. And if you have any kind of problem or issue that you want to address about your family, this deck works wonders for that. Even for self-reflection, it's really great. I wouldn't recommend it if you're a new tarot reader, just because some of the imagery, if you plan to get into tarot widely, some of the imagery may be hard to understand or relate to. If you don't have any kind of background in Native American culture, it can also kind of come across very differently if you're not very accepting of other cultures. I would recommend that if you're going to get this deck, to kind of research it, look at other reviews of what people have said about it. I love this deck personally and would recommend it to any kind of tarot reader, professional or not. I just wouldn't recommend it for a beginning reader. But that is all I have to say about this deck. Hopefully you guys are liking these reviews. I'm kind of enjoying doing them. So if you guys just want to comment below or follow me on Tumblr or tarot discussions at Blogspot, all the links will be down below. Check out my Etsy. I do offer paid readings, even from this deck, which will be listed on that Etsy. But thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Bye!